Gordon, is it inevitable, do you think, that Donald Trump will make a run in 2024?
By no means. 4 years is a long ways off. There's a lot of other Republican hopefuls who are quite ambitious. I think right now in this interim where the president has yet to fully concede and where they're still focused on a Senate race in Georgia, a lot of people are keeping their powder dry. They're being quiet. But whether it is Vice President Mike Pence or Nikki Haley or Tom Cotton or Ted Cruz or there's a range of Republicans who have their own ambitions. And I'm not sure any of them are willing to kind of throw in their towel when the last election is still being litigated by their own party.
The president has also released a video again questioning the integrity of the electoral system in the United States. Just how much longer can all of that be dragged out?
Well, the unfortunate thing, and I say unfortunate because it's unfortunate for American democracy, is that it seems like it's going to go on much longer than it should. We have now, early next week, there will be the formal certification of all the electors. By the 14th of December, the Electoral College will actually cast their votes. At this point, that outcome is set. It's certain. It has been now for the last 3 weeks. This long video released by the president, apparently produced and taped in the White House, not in front of reporters, not in front of an audience, is just a regurgitation of all the arguments that have been thrown out there for the last 3 weeks, all of which have been repeatedly disproven in court. So it's a very important thing for your viewers to recognize that it's one thing to say things in a political speech or in a tweet or in a line. It's another thing to actually have to prove it in court with evidence. And time again, when that has been the requirement, 40 different cases now knocked back by, in most cases, Republican judges. So this is not a partisan issue. It's a facts-based issue. And despite what you're seeing in terms of the president's statements and that of his lawyers, the facts aren't there to support him. There has not been widespread corruption. The election is decided. Joe Biden is the president-elect, and he will be inaugurated in January.
Joe Biden, meantime, has offered Australia support in our current row with China. Obviously, this is playing out on a number of fronts at the moment, and the relationship is at pretty toxic levels. Is there a sense that this is a message from China through to Joe Biden, the incoming president, that it isn't playing games, that it's no nonsense, that it's serious about these trade issues?
To be honest, this is further evidence to me of a Chinese misstep. The very first public utterances on China by not only President-elect Joe Biden, by his incoming National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, was a declaration of support for America's ally, Australia. So if you're China, is that really where you want to start off your relationship with an incoming U.S. administration? You will recall on your program about a month ago when our foreign minister, Maurice Payne, went to Tokyo for the Quad meeting, the quadrilateral dialogue between India, Japan, the United States, and Australia. I mentioned that dialogue had a lot more to do with Chinese overreach than U.S. outreach. The fact that we're seeing these statements coming out of the United States and statements of support from across the world, from the UK, from France, from Germany, from Canada, from Japan, from India, is indicative of the fact that what China is really doing is building a coalition against itself through the overreach that they're doing in this field, particularly with a country like Australia that is so well liked internationally.
China seems to really be embracing social media as a tool for diplomacy. It's pulled down the Prime Minister's WeChat message. Should we look at banning that platform here in Australia? Would that be a smart move?
No, I tend to believe in our core principles, and those being the freedom of speech. So the fact that China doesn't have Facebook, that China doesn't have a Twitter, and they block them internally, and the fact that they can block WeChat as a China-based service is to the disadvantage of the Chinese citizens, and it's certainly to the disadvantage of Chinese Australians who happen to use that same service to keep in touch with their families there. But to be honest, there's no reason for us to ban it here. We just need to make sure that we compete actively in the marketplace of ideas. And in the end, I'm one who believes that our principles and our values are in the end stronger, which is exactly why countries like China seem to try to block those, because they are inherently destabilizing to them. They're not destabilizing to us.
Here to that notion. Gordon Flake, appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.